My name's Sorcha Mackenzie and I'm an artist, and I'm here with Anna McEvoy, and she's a model.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Well, we were just speaking before about how we've both been extensively travelling this year. Yeah. So tell me about your experiences travelling. What happened?
I mean, at the start of the year, I kind of made, I guess, a pact with myself to just really focus on traveling this year, visit new places, have new experiences, and try and grow as much as possible doing that. So I feel like I've ticked that box, and I've had an amazing year of traveling. We actually just realised that we were both in Europe at the same time.
Yeah, for 3 months, which is...
We didn't know each other.
Yeah, I know. It's
probably
funny.
past each other on the street or something.
I know, we very well may have. Yeah.
But you were in Europe for...
I think I was there for about 2.5 months. So I was doing an art residence at a printmaking studio in Venice. So I was just there for a month making a body of work, and
That's so cool.
it was really good, and it was a great opportunity to really spend like a month on the island of Venice. I was very lucky because it's a very surreal place.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
So it was really inspiring, and it's great to kind of get away and be able to sort of have your own time without external factors affecting what you do, just to make a body of work.
100%. I feel like you would have come up with a lot of amazing artwork. I've been stalking your Instagram and it looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And there's artwork out there that you've done which is incredible as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, it's I think I get a lot of inspiration from travel, because I guess I'm very lucky, like privileged enough to be able to travel with work and with art. So I always have like kind of sketchbooks with me or cameras with me, and just get a lot of ideas and try and meet a lot of people to discuss things. And I think that it's really inspiring and helps you.
Yeah. If you can rope travel into your passion, then why not?
Yeah.
That's what I try and do.
Yeah, definitely. You get to travel a lot with work.
I do, yeah. I've done a couple of campaigns, basically just like around Australia, but then I also modelled in Hong Kong for 3 months.
Wow.
Which was very interesting.
That's so cool. Were you living in Hong Kong?
I did, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I stayed with a friend who was actually there, and it was an amazing experience. Definitely, like very different to working in Australia, but still an experience that I'll remember for a long time, and I feel like it helped me grow as well. And
definitely. Well, it can be confronting when you're like living somewhere sort of basically by yourself, really.
For sure. Yeah. I feel like, when you like put yourself out of your comfort zone, it really helps you to just grow so much. So I really felt like, that happened then. Yeah,
definitely. No, for sure. I think you only really can like learn what you're capable of when you're in those situations 100%, as well. Yeah, and you really surprise yourself. You're like, wow, I can't believe I've done this thing on my own, which is
cool. I know, getting on the plane, I think I was just like, what am I doing?
This is crazy.
I don't know if this is too far outside my comfort zone, but no, it was amazing, and I would definitely encourage anyone who has the opportunity to travel by themselves or just with a couple of friends. It's like life-changing.
Yeah, definitely. I think living overseas as well would be one to encourage. Like if you can, it's just a really fantastic opportunity. And I've never lived too long overseas, but actually, my longest was I was in Japan for about 3 months. I was doing a show there, but I wasn't in the same place. I moved a bit, but I had some artwork and stuff to make, so I was doing that the most time. But I remember when I got there, because I'd been a couple of times, but I'd been with like a boyfriend and I'd been with a group of friends, so I hadn't made many friends there. And I remember when I got there and I knew one person, and
one's still better than none.
and just nervously texting them when I arrive in Tokyo, saying, "Oh, can we hang out on the weekend?" And
can you be my friend?
Yeah, and I remember I went to a bar that they worked at by myself, And I'd never been to a bar by myself before, just to like meet them at the bar when they were working. And I thought, wow, I can do this. I can do this. And it's little things like that don't seem important, but then
they're empowering.
They are.
Like they are. It's like,
they are.
I'll go to the bar by myself.
We'll go to the bar by myself. Yeah. And now I think, I think it's made me enjoy doing a lot of things by myself more. Like now I'm just having lunch by myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing all.
Now you're doing everything solo. You're like, who needs friends?
Exactly. No, I can't hang out today.
Hanging out with me.
Yeah.
But Japan, I've always wanted to go there, so I'm very jealous.
Yeah, well, you should go.
I will. I think it's on the bucket list for sure.
What's some of your favorite places that you've traveled to?
I'd have to say Hawaii, because you get like the cultural aspect and you get the American food aspect, which I love. Yeah. And beaches. I feel like it just kind of has everything, well, everything that I want in a holiday. And then I think Spain. Yeah. Just the food is so good there.
It's fantastic.
I feel like living in Melbourne, we really appreciate good food, and in Spain I was very impressed. Yeah. And obviously all the buildings, it was just beautiful. Yeah. Nice weather.
And I think the lifestyle as well in Spain's really nice. I think I have one of my best friends lives and works there, and she was saying at one of her jobs she got to finish early in the summer so everyone can hang out, and it just seems like every day can be a really great day of just a very social kind of experience.
I feel like they really make the most of their days, and then they have their siestas. It's just a very good lifestyle. Like I could definitely see myself living there in the future.
It's made me, I think going there as well really made me think about trying to sort of incorporate that kind of thought into my normal working day, because it can be, I don't think it can be a bit unhealthy sometimes if you're working incredibly hard and then you're just going home and falling asleep to the TV. You're not really, it feels like you're not experiencing every day.
It feels kind of invaluable, I guess, like when you I completely agree, and I try. That's why I think I've chosen this lifestyle as well, because it is so up and down and all over the place, and one day I'll be doing a job, if I could be anywhere and meeting new people all the time.
It sounds quite hectic though. How do you manage to sort of, what keeps you grounded, and like you have to keep healthy and like fit, and so much to consider, and like well, just in general.
I think it's super important in the modelling industry to definitely have a thick skin. And when I say that, some of the most insecure people I've met in my life are models, because it is so challenging and hard. But I think you just need to really focus on your mental health and make sure that you take time to do things that you love. Like, I don't know. I like to paint, but I'm really bad at painting.
No.
I feel embarrassed to say that to you, an actual artist.
No, that's fantastic.
But yeah, doing things like that, or like yoga, meditation, things that I guess like kind of like have a creative because it and it kind of calms me down, make sure that I'm in a good mental space, and I think self-care is super important. So I guess I just try and be as happy as I possibly can be, and I think that leads on to health, like good health, and just taking care of myself really
definitely
as best as I can.
It can be, I mean, it can be difficult sometimes when you're really busy to remember, like if you're going every day and you have something locked in, to just take a step back and take some time out. It can be really tricky to do that.
And it's so easy to forget about yourself when you just have so much going on. And even just taking if I do a 10-minute meditation in the morning, it starts my day off so much better.
I love meditation. It's really good. I think I was always kind of, I just sort of ignored it, and I thought, oh, that won't help me. And then I started doing it, and I realized, wow, my whole headspace is different,
so much better.
And I can focus and do things, and I feel like it needs to be sort of more taught through
I completely agree.
Yeah, through school and from a younger age.
I 100% agree. I feel like it's kind of like used to be looked down upon, like that's like kind of like a hippie.
Yeah, like spooky, too spooky for us. But now,
But I think now people are realizing how valuable it actually is, and it really is. And I think you're right. It should be taught in schools. And if someone's stressed out about exams or whatever they have going on, it's such a good tool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's I find when I'm making work in the studio as well, if I've got a lot to do, like I really enjoy doing it, but because it'll get quite it can get a bit monotonous doing lots of stuff, especially if there's deadlines. That I really have to kind of take breaks and do things like meditate, because otherwise you just get too up in your own head about everything.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like with just going back to like the whole modelling thing, it's really important to be able to talk to yourself in a really positive way, because I feel like so often we talk to ourselves like in a negative way or criticize ourselves, or I need to get, like when you're saying with the deadline, I need to hurry up and get this done. Like, why didn't I do this sooner? And I think it's really important to subconsciously make sure that you correct yourself when you are horrible to yourself, and like talk to yourself like you're talking to your best friend, not to an enemy.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's something I've learned recently and have been practicing, trying to really talk to myself in a like loving way.
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes you can be making judgments on yourself, and you can say to yourself, I like myself, I'm doing well, and you're like, no, I think I'm kind of criticizing myself or comparing myself to people, and it's just completely it's just sort of unfair and useless. Like it doesn't achieve anything because it's negative.
No one's more critical on you than you are on yourself.
Yeah.
And I totally and 100% believe that. And I feel like you can fall into like a dark hole of even with social media.
Yeah,
like, why don't I look like this? This person's like just waking up and they look amazing, and you're like, how did this happen? And it's easy to kind of compare yourself to people and think I'm not good enough. Why am I not on holiday? No, we were just here.
Of course.
But like, why am I not on holiday? Why is this person so happy? But I guess with social media, we compare someone's highlight reel to our behind the scenes. Yeah. And it's just, it's not real.
It's really, it's a curated gallery of experiences. We curate ourselves, and it's, I think it can be, it can be really sort of damaging. You don't even realise. I think even just scrolling and also just I think it can foster really great connections with people you'd otherwise not meet, and that's probably the best part, I think, just being able to meet new people. And but it's definitely very anxiety inducing.
100%. I think social media causes the most anxiety, depression and stress, especially for young people, and I think that's coming across more and more as a lot of people seem to be getting more like mental health issues, and I'm definitely one of them. I feel like I have suffered anxiety through social media a lot, which is why I recently took 2 months off social media.
That sounds awesome. How was it, and what happened? How did it all come about?
Yeah, I was kind of going through just like not like the happiest time of my life. It was just kind of like a rough time, and I just decided that seeing everyone's really happy posts. And usually I was posting probably once a day, so quite active online. And I just felt like I felt really inauthentic posting happy times when I wasn't really feeling that happy. So I just decided that I needed to focus on my mental health. So I kind of decided to take time out from social media, and when I did that, I realized I was very addicted. So when I deleted the apps, I was actually, I like completely deleted them, and where my like Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever social media I was using, where they were, I was clicking them, out of compulsion.
And there's just nothing
There was nothing there.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I can't believe how addicted I was. And I didn't even do it because I thought I was addicted. I did it because I was like, I don't really want to be seeing everyone's posts, and I just need like time to focus on myself. But then in doing that, I realized that I was very addicted.
Yeah.
And I was actually only meant to do it for a week. And then after feeling so good after a week, I just decided that I was like, okay, let's just do 2, 3. And now it's been 2 months and I haven't used it. And I honestly feel so much better. I feel like so much more clear in my head. My anxiety has dropped dramatically. So it's definitely been super positive for me, and something I would definitely recommend to anyone who, I don't know, is like, has mental health issues or just needs a break or feels like they're addicted. I feel like everyone's addicted, whether we want to admit it or not. But yeah, no, I think it's a really positive thing to do and something that everyone should do.
Definitely.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, no, I recently downloaded an app which deletes all of your apps for a certain amount of time.
Really?
So you can delete them for 8 hours or a certain time.
Wow.
And I remember I would always make up an excuse and say to myself, oh, I need to have Instagram because what if somebody messages me or something? And I thought, no, if somebody important is going to message me, they're going to text me, which you can still receive. Like, I don't really need this. And it honestly makes me feel so much more clear when I'm in my studio. I just do all my work. But I do the same thing. Like, I will pick up my phone, and I remember I was scrolling through it, and there were no apps, and I found myself. I was like, they still have the stock app open. And I was looking at the stock app and being like, what does this mean? I don't understand.
What's this?
What is this? Or like looking at the calculator or just maps and thinking.
Like, I need some sort of app
stimulation.
for my social fix.
But it is really hard because I think. I listened to a podcast called The Humour and the Abject, and it's an art podcast where they interview artists, and one of the episodes they interviewed an artist, and she makes a lot of video work and sculptural work, and she was saying her new project was a big film and it was going to take about 2 years, so that was all she was doing. And she said she got anxiety because she realised when she wasn't going to be doing sculptures and stuff, she wouldn't have anything to post on Instagram. And she thought, no, but this is a really worthwhile project. This is a film. Films are amazing. But yeah, she thought it's completely sort of changed the way that she worked. And I think it's the same with a lot of things, like posts that are good take a lot of time, but things which are really good take a month. And
exactly.
there's a lot of things you can't sort of show and get validation for, but when you're used to getting it all through there, it's so difficult to sort of,
And when you rely on it as well, like when you're very active on social media and you rely on that constant validation, it really does have an effect on your self-worth. Like, I don't know about you, but I posted a photo before and I thought it was going to get lots of likes, I was going to get validated, and then it didn't, so I took it down. Which is so bad. And now looking back on that, I'm like, that is ridiculous. And like seeking everyone else's approval, and when I didn't receive it, I was like, oh, I'll just take it down.
No one will know. And it's funny because other people don't really notice, because they're going to be, unless they're going on your profile or it's one of your good friends, they're not going to notice because it's going to show up in their feed for 1 second, and then definitely, and I think it can definitely. It links you in with people in a way which is a constant stream of communication. And I know a lot of friends have complained to me that often when they're just in like any kind of relationship with anyone, friends, or if anything goes wrong in something, you can constantly see what everyone's doing. And people, I saw someone make a joke about people when they post Instagram stories, for one person to see it is like the equivalent of...
Do you think that's true?
I think so. I think so. And the joke was, but they said it's the equivalent of the Great Gatsby throwing a party in the hopes that Daisy would come. This one girl would come, like throwing a giant, amazing party in the hopes that one person would come.
So
is the equivalent of posting. And I think all of those things put together, especially if you have any kind of mental health issues or anxiety, it's
a dangerous combo.
Yeah, you're focusing all on yourself. So it is really good to.
And I think as well, when you were like talking before about scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, you're just, it's just, you're mindlessly doing it. You're not actually taking the time to think about it. It's not meaningful in any way. It's just like quick hit of this, quick hit of that, this person, that person, and you're not really taking the time to truly be like, this person's up to this. And as well, I think we feel really connected to a lot of people, but when you take out social media,
it's just, yeah.
Who are you really connected to? And I found that when I went off social media, people who I would consider friends and we'd like each other's posts.
Yeah.
And I guess you could call them like online friends. As soon as you get rid of the apps,
they're
not there.
Yeah, it just disappears. And
you think that you know what's going on in people's lives. Like, for instance, I have people who I went to school with, and I think I know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
But I don't.
No, you don't.
I have no idea.
No, definitely not.
But because I follow along with some of their feed or stories or whatever it is, I feel more connected to them, but I'm really not. So it's interesting because we do feel more connected, but I don't know necessarily if we are more connected or if it's kind of like a false
sense of connection. Yeah, I think so. And I was thinking about it because when I was away as well, I was really trying to. I posted photos of art and I posted travel photos and like the fun stuff.
Cool.
Thank you. But I was trying to just go on it a lot less. I was thinking I can post something and I'm going to forget about it and I need to like put my phone in airplane mode. Because it's even because you often scroll and you'll just see something which will make you slightly anxious without even realizing it. Like even if you see someone and then you compare yourself and the voice in your head says, why isn't my day like their day? And the thing is, none of that affects your day, and that person or those people don't have any bearing on your life. Like your day is right in front of you, and that's all you have. So it's I think, and as well, it's like with social media companies. Obviously, they want to make the apps as engaging as possible, and it works so well that you really do need to take it upon yourself to limit it. There's 100%. No other way to do it, really. Yeah.
And I think as well, like when you recognise that it actually is an issue, like I didn't recognise it until I actually went off social media. And then, I mean, I'm sure I knew I was addicted, but not to the level of addiction that I was at. And I think when you acknowledge the problem, then you have to implement ways to kind of stop yourself and maybe say, I'll go on Instagram at 6 p.m. today. Even if that's like super hard for you to do, I think it's really valuable and can really help as well because we're all in charge of our own destiny at the end of the day. And we need to, I don't know.
Yeah, and they can be fantastic tools. I mean, I feel like I've met so many cool people and just being connected with a bunch of artists. But I know for a fact that it does affect with a lot of artists and drawing people too. People really focus on who likes what kind of drawing. And I saw somebody posting about how she used to get thousands of likes on her drawings and now she gets 70 and she says, it's the algorithm has done something to it. It's really weird. And she said, she was like, I'm really stressed out. I don't know what work to make anymore. And it's just seems to, it's really...
It has a direct effect, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does. So she's not being validated for art, so she doesn't think it's good enough anymore. But I'm sure it's just as good
it's just as, if not better, most likely better, Yeah. And do you use social media more for modelling at all, or it's more so?
I think it's definitely a tool for modelling. Like when I get booked by clients directly, they'll have a look on my Instagram because they don't want to see... I mean, they do want to see my modelling pictures, but then they want to see what I'm doing in real life, like what type of vibe I guess I'm giving out online,
of course,
just if it aligns with their brand. So
I
definitely do need it for work and things like that, but just trying to limit it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good though. It sounds like a healthy. Yeah, I think when I've stopped using it as much as well, I got back into reading more as well. What have you been reading?
Oh my gosh, I was reading the Book of You.
Oh really? What is it about?
It's about this girl who is being stalked by a guy.
Yeah.
It's not a real story.
Yeah.
And no, it's really good.
Awesome.
You should read it.
Yeah,
I don't want to say too much because then it will spoil the
it'll spoil the book.
ending, and if anyone wants to read
that sounds so good.
But it is a good book. What about you? What have you been reading?
The last book I read it quite quickly. It was called The Natural Way of Things, and it's a kind of dystopian, futuristic thing. It's a feminist text. It's a bit like The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh my god, I love that.
But it's set in Australia.
Oh, cool.
And it's really interesting. It's very it's quite dark as a book, but it's a good one. And I think I was trying to read some sort of classics when I was overseas and get all that done because I had sort of so much time in the sunshine, but.
It's a nice place to read some classics.
It is some classics, yeah, of course. Definitely. It's really good. I feel like when you're reading as well, it's really kind of restructuring your brain into.
I agree.
I felt that a lot of my vocabulary came back.
Yeah, it really does. I found the same thing as well, and I'm a slow reader though. I feel like you're a very fast reader.
It depends what it is. It depends, some things.
Yeah, I just find it super relaxing and I feel very peaceful when I'm reading. So I've found that really helps, especially when I didn't have apps to scroll.
Yeah, of course. It's a very mindful activity, I think.
It is. Yeah. One of those self-care things that we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I was going to ask you as well, what are your favourite kinds of modelling jobs to do?
I think campaigns, just because you get to travel, which is always fun. But I'm very commercially based, so any sort of photo shoot I love to do, and it's always fun, like working with a great team, and I thoroughly enjoy that. But of course, there's lots of other different types. There's runway, which I used to do a lot of when I was younger. Yeah. I've been modelling for 9 years.
That's amazing.
I know.
So cool.
Since I was 17 and now I'm 26. So it's a pretty long time.
It is. You could have like a celebration next year.
Probably in 2 years I'll have my retirement party.
Oh, that's
it's short-lived. That's okay.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And you were working as well with Tourism Thailand as an ambassador. Yeah. So what's your experience?
With Tourism Thailand, I originally met them because I had entered Miss World Australia. Yeah. And they were one of the sponsors for the event. And then I got into the top 5 for Miss World, which was amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So cool.
Thank you. And and so then they kind of approached me and asked me to be the face of their campaign that was coming up. So I got to fly to Thailand with my best friend and boyfriend at the time, and it was pretty amazing.
Wow.
But my experience has been really cool because I've got to experience lots of different parts of Thailand. Yeah. But I think my favourite part was probably when we went up north and we did like the local experience. Just getting to meet all of the people. Everyone was super lovely. I don't know if you've been to Thailand.
No, I haven't.
Before.
I want to go.
go.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
Yeah. Go to Thailand. No, but it's really nice, and the people will literally go out of their way and do anything for you. They're so kind. Yeah. And when we went up there, we went to, I don't know, a standout moment was when we went up to this tea plantation. Yeah. And we met all of the people working there, and they would literally work from early morning before the sun was up until night when it was dark. Wow. So super hardworking, the loveliest people I've ever met, and they were earning little to no money, but just had the most positive attitude about life, was so content about life, and it just really stuck out to me, I guess, because I guess we complain about, I mean, I don't know about you, but I complain about silly things.
Yeah, I'm constantly complaining.
And sometimes we're ungrateful, not because, like, not in a bad way, but we just, maybe too spoiled. I don't know,
you kind of, you always, what's the word? You adapt to your surroundings and you get used to it. And it's hard. I think it's always important to take a step back and say, wow, I'm so privileged to have all these amazing opportunities, which is and
because we're like a modern society, we're just so used to, you know, just where we live. But for them, like, they had little to nothing, and they were some of the happiest people I've met in my life. So that was, I guess, super nice for me. Probably something else that stood out was going to the elephant conservation camp.
Wow.
Amazing. It was pretty cool. They basically saved elephants from poachers and, I don't know, people who were riding them. And just, there's so much land where they just got to graze, and it was beautiful. It was really nice to see. So that was fantastic. Nice. But lots of good experiences with tourism in Thailand.
So are you interested with the elephants? Are you interested in sort of environmental stuff or animals? What kind of causes are you passionate about?
I mean, back to the whole social media thing with online bullying. I have been an ambassador for Bully Zero Australia, just because of that, because I noticed so many online bullying.
There's so much, isn't it?
So much. And it's like, it's hard because I've seen people who I know say things on maybe like a celebrity's profile and think that no one's going to see it, but you know, when you know someone in the comment section, it comes up and you can see. And I just think you would never say that to that person's face. It's horrible to type it out. It does. I don't know.
To believe you have that sort of distance when you don't really like.
You don't.
People read it. It's
and it's nice to be nice, and I just think to pour out hate online is really horrible. Definitely. I mean, I've received. People have said horrible things on my Instagram account, but I feel like I have a pretty thick skin and I don't take it to heart, and I'll just delete it and block them and never think about it again.
Definitely,
Have you had experience with?
Yeah, I've had some people send me some pretty bad messages and stuff, and also, I think mainly if people send you messages and then you just don't reply, or you just like, please stop talking to me, and then they get angry when you haven't responded in however way, if some weird person's trying to like flirt with you and then is angry, like I've had that. And I think in recent past, because the recent time, most of my sort of followers are kind of friends and people I know, so it's pretty it's kind of okay for me. But I think definitely when I was a bit younger as well, just going out of high school, and everyone's sort of in the bracket from like 17, 18 to 21, it gets really weird around that stage with that stuff. And I think a lot of people, when people do stuff like that, it's not a reflection on the person, it's of their own insecurities.
100%, I completely agree with that. It's horrible that people feel that they can talk to people in that way. It really upsets me, and it's not nice. And I guess that is the reason why I joined Bully Zero, to just kind of help promote that and to, you know, campaign against zero tolerance to bullying. So campaigns for zero tolerance.
Of course. So.
But so that's definitely one of the charities that I was interested in and am interested in. Back when I was in year 11, I was doing my Silver Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what that is? It's like
I've heard people speaking about it before.
It's just kind of like, I mean, I don't really know what it is. You get like a certificate, and it's good for your resume, I've heard, back when I was in school.
For sure.
But there's a charity component to it. And so I joined my local soup kitchen for a year and a half. Back in 2009. And I've recently started going back there, and it's so it's so nice to be able to go and help the homeless. And
Yeah.
I saw a quote the other day and it said there's different types of happiness that you can obtain, but I think that one of the most powerful ones is when you do something for someone else and you expect nothing in return.
Yeah.
And I totally and 100% agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very good attitude to have, and it also it also kind of helps you get out of your own head as well.
100%.
Because if you're feeling bad, I think one of the best things to do is pursuing something like that to try and
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You have to come to the Soup Kitchen.
Oh no, I'd love to, definitely.
I'll bring you along.
Yeah, I'll be there.
It's lots of fun, and you come away with lots of interesting stories.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's I think it's good. I think also being involved in things like fundraisers and you've been involved in fundraisers.
Yeah, when I did Miss World Australia, they had a designated charity, which was Variety of the Children's Charity.
Yeah.
So everyone who entered the competition had to raise funds. So I ended up putting on we got Daryl Braithwaite to sing at the stage.
Amazing. It's the best.
Yeah. Which was really cool. And we raised $8,000.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Which I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I some people raised like a lot more, and they had people donating, and it was great. But yeah, $8,000 was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
What about you? Are you interested in?
Yeah, I am interested in sort of charity. I think one of the things I'm kind of try to do at least sometimes is just put work in sort of fundraiser shows.
That's amazing.
Because it's kind of it's good because I feel like I have sort of just a weird skill. Honestly, this is what I can
it's amazing skill.
But I really like. I think doing fundraiser shows are great as well because it's a really community thing. I had some friends who. They've made this recycled kind of ink, so it's ink you can paint with, and it's one of the only it's the only recycled ink around at the moment. And they did a show with Anxiety Recovery Victoria where we all just put in A3 things and tried to do that to raise money for ARC.
Amazing.
So that was cool. I think that was the last big one, and hopefully I'll be involved in some more soon. But it's good. It's good to try and get involved in these things in whatever way you can because
I completely agree.
Yeah, and with obviously we've done some various charity work, but philanthropy is different to charity, and there's not very much education about it at schools. And how do you think we could?
I mean, I think there definitely needs to be more education at school. I didn't learn anything about philanthropy.
Yeah.
And there definitely does need to be more education moving forward, and even just I think as well, getting kids to help charities during school, because I wouldn't have done it unless I was doing the Silver Duke of Edinburgh, and I think that it's so important, and it teaches you so many great lessons, and as well, like with philanthropy, knowing that that's an option and that you can donate to charities and make a difference and be involved
and help people through causes. And I think it's very important, and it really helps if you're introduced to it at an earlier age, because once you, and I think in high school, like being taught like differences between charity and philanthropy, and then because after you get out of uni or whatever, like you get a job immediately, you don't really pay much attention to anything around you as much as you did when in school.
100%.
You kind of got you have your blinkers on.
Blinkers on, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think we can do in the future to kind of
to promote? Right. I think just I think getting sort of involved in social media and doing sort of social media campaigns about education, about philanthropy is important. And I think for people who are over 18 or they're not in high school or middle school anymore, sort of having events and for education is probably the best way to reach out, because it can be hard. And I think people, but we just said we like reading again after a short stint of not reading. But I mean, I think that it's better to sort of have these kind of engaging events or YouTube videos or things like that, opposed to having articles, because people don't read as much, I don't think, about right. Especially younger people, I think.
Yeah, I think social media is a great tool to kind of influence and help people understand as well.
Yeah.
And like through visuals, like videos, and something that's super engaging. So
and it can be a good thing, even though we spoke about it being
so bad
negative sometimes. Yeah.
No, it does have its positives, and we both agree with that. But I think it's just important to kind of understand that it's not all positive, and it can affect you in like really negative ways, and to just, I guess, take control of
definitely
your usage.
Would you have sort of advice for maybe when you were 10 years younger, or you 10 years ago, in pursuing kind of like what you've become involved in, like modelling and charity work? What would be your advice, just
to a young girl who's looking to start modelling? I mean, I think just like the number one thing that I would tell my younger self would to just be confident and be comfortable in the skin you're in. I remember that my first casting that I ever did, it was at David Jones, and it was a huge room full of all of these amazing models. And I was just so young, and I just had no idea like where I was, what I was doing. I just kind of got told to go there. And obviously I must have looked a little bit like a deer in headlights. Because an older model who I think was probably my age, now she came up to me and she was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Don't worry, just don't compare yourself to anyone else. Be comfortable and confident and just run your own race." And I think that was such good advice, and I guess something I've taken with me through modelling, because you can't compare yourself to anyone else, because everyone's so different. And, clients are looking for specific things that's out of your control. And so I think you just have to be confident and have thick skin. And there's a lot of rejection that comes with it, and you just have to be ready for it, I guess.
For sure.
But in regards to charity, I would tell my younger self to get involved as early as possible, because I think that it's so important, and it teaches you such amazing lessons.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about you? What would you tell your younger self?
I think sort of with art stuff, it can be quite sort of lonely at times, because you are going into a studio usually by yourself and sitting down and making work, and you'll be there for 8 hours. And I think obviously keep working hard is a really good thing, but sort of making sure that you balance your time properly, so you can be engaged during the time you're alone, and make sure because I think the thing with it as well, if you're doing sort of artworks, there's never really a finishing point on things. You don't finish all your work, like you could keep making more, and you need to have a sort of balance and take care of yourself to be able to be in the right headspace to make good work. And I don't really everyone talks about the sort of the tortured artist character, but I personally find when I'm feeling really bad, I can't do work well. I think it's better I find if I'm in a positive headspace, then I can reflect on something. Someone broke my heart, I can make a drawing about it. But but at the time, I'm just like, I can't do anything.
I can't look at it.
So I think it's important to really look after your mental health and look after your physical health. yeah, just I guess like it's a privilege doing art because
And having the talent to
I
do
don't know,
it.
thank you.
I would love to be able to
It's like it's a big privilege because it's a
Yeah.
really cool. It's a good job, and I think that if you're an artist, you try to get yourself in the best position you can to be able to sort of have your own studio and work on your stuff. And
Yeah.
that's sort of the advice I would give in terms of art, because
Yeah.
it's also, I think it's also a bit of a weird, scary industry, and it's very sort of political, and it can be a bit nasty, and there's so many different varieties, and I'm sure it's the same in modelling.
I feel like there's a lot of similarities.
It's really
But I guess like a common theme that we've obviously realised is that we all have to take care of our mental health.
Yeah, it's the most
important thing.
Sort of the bottom line to be able to
to
do anything else. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, it was so nice speaking to you today.
So nice really talking to you.
Yeah, and I hope
we're gonna handshake.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that love to come with you to the soup van as well. That'll be so much fun. Yeah,
it's a
date.
date.
Great time. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.